Halo siang semua, untuk para peserta, saya ucapkan selamat datang ke event kita siang ini. Dan sementara mungkin boleh di-mute semuanya sebelum kita mulai acara. Sembari menunggu peserta yang masih di waiting room, saya akan memutar video tentang profil KAPLAN Edupac. Thank you. Akan dimulai lagi 5 menit lagi ya acaranya.
Sejak ikut kursus di KAPLAN dan diajar sama teacher-teacher yang juga sangat sabar, ramah, dan mereka juga paham gimana caranya mengajarkan kritik dan JRI, saya jadi lebih pede gitu untuk mengerjakan soal-soal JRI.
Sangat membantu kami, para student, untuk bisa mencapai nilai tertinggi.
Dan mendapatkan tips-tips yang sangat membantu dari para pengajar untuk bisa menyelesaikan soal-soal di tes JRI dengan baik.
Dan saya melihat signifikansi kenaikan di mana hampir mendekati sempurna.
Para tutor yang luar biasa yang membentuk saya yang tadi tidak mengerti what is GRE, what is TOEFL, tapi mereka bisa membuat saya menjadi the most improvement untuk 3 kategori, the most improvement TOEFL, the most improvement GRE kuantitatif, dan the most improvement GRE verbal.
Oke, halo semua. Selamat siang. Di sini saya Richard selaku representatif dari KAPLAN Edupac mengucapkan selamat siang semuanya. Selamat datang di event kita yang akan mendiskus tentang apa itu personal statement. Tanpa basa-basi, kita langsung memberi kepada Pak Ian. Mungkin boleh say hello kepada peserta sebelumnya, Pak.
Ya, oke. Terima kasih untuk Richard yang pada kesempatan ini sudah memfasilitasi kami dari KAPLAN Edupac ya di session untuk materi mengenai writing and effective personal statement. Tapi sebelum itu perkenalkan saya Ian dari KAPLAN Edupac, di mana kami dari tim untuk advisor yang tentunya saya dibantu oleh satu rekan saya juga dengan Domi, silakan. Oke. Nah, kami di sini membantu student, kalaupun ada yang ingin rencana untuk konsultasi mengenai test preparation, terutama baik itu TOEFL, IELTS, SAT, GMAT maupun GRE, bisa kontak ke kami, atau kontak ke saya, ataupun kontak ke Domi dari tim advisor. Nanti bisa mohon untuk teman-teman di sini mencantumkan nama, kemudian nomor telepon yang dapat kami hubungin. Kalau mungkin ada pertanyaan-pertanyaan lebih lanjut, atau mungkin bisa save nomor kami KAPLAN Edupac, nah untuk kita bantu untuk konsultasi. Nah sebelum itu mungkin saya yakin di sini sih sudah banyak yang mengetahui KAPLAN Edupac ya, tetapi bagi yang belum, ini adalah kesempatan yang baik dan kesempatan yang tepat sekali. Jadi untuk kalian untuk rencana persiapan mengenai preparation. Nah, sebelum itu kami juga informasikan pada saat nanti kita sesi untuk pengenalan mengenai KAPLAN Edupac, kami nanti akan memberikan quiz, di mana quiz nanti akan mendapatkan hadiah voucher senilai 1 juta. Jadi nanti untuk 3 yang bertanya pada saat nanti sesi quiz ya. Jadi silakan. Sorry, nanti menjawab soal. Jadi saya menjawab dari soal-soal kami. Oke. Untuk selanjutnya jangan lupa nanti untuk peserta webinar yang berencana untuk ikut tes prep, kami juga berikan promo Ramadan Deals dengan nanti ada scan barcode di mana kalian kalau misalnya ada yang rencana untuk ambil preparation TOEFL, IELTS, SAT maupun GMAT, GRE, kalian bisa scan barcode kami. Jadi nanti akan mendapatkan promo Ramadan Deals yaitu up to 1,5 juta. Jadi sangat bagus sekali dan kesempatan bagi kalian untuk mendapatkannya. Oke, Richard bisa dibantu untuk tampilkan slide.
Oke, berarti selain acara juga ada hadiah juga ya Pak, menarik sekali.
Ya, oke.
Oke, kalau gitu kita mulai saja. Oke Pak, sebentar ya, saya coba slide-nya.
Oke, mungkin saya mau bertanya dulu untuk teman-teman di sini suara saya apa sudah terdengar jelas?
Di saya cukup jelas Pak ya.
Oke, untuk teman-teman yang lainnya sudah suara saya apakah cukup terdengar dengan jelas?
Mungkin boleh di chat. Iya.
Oke, baik. Ini dari slogan kita, jadi Prep Smarter, Score Higher, di mana dalam rangka mempersiapkan persyaratan studi, nah kita harus benar-benar istilahnya smart ya, istilahnya pintar dalam mempersiapkannya. Karena persiapan ini di mana adalah saat-saat yang penting yang menentukan apakah kita bisa diterima di sekolah yang kita tuju. Jadi kita harus lebih baik dari persiapan mengenai waktunya maupun skor yang sangat bagus dibanding teman-teman yang lainnya. Karena kita bersaing di sini kan, agar bisa diterima di sekolah di dalam negeri maupun di luar negeri. Oke, lanjut, next. Oke, the world leader in test preparation. Nah, seperti kita ketahui bahwa KAPLAN Edupac ini dikenal sebagai satu-satunya penyedia tes preparation ujian terbesar di dunia. KAPLAN sendiri yang pertama sudah cukup lama, lebih dari 80 tahun, telah memberikan jasa persiapan tes prep yang sangat bagus sebagai salah satu sekolah terbesar di dunia yang concern di persiapan ujian seperti TOEFL, SAT, GMAT, GRE, IELTS, ataupun persiapan yang lainnya. Dan untuk keunggulan yang kedua adalah di mana KAPLAN ini sebagai salah satu istilahnya kita mempunyai 240 pusat studi di dunia. Seperti kita tuh tidak hanya di Indonesia, ada di Singapura, Aussie, UK dan lain-lainnya, di mana terdapat lebih kurang lebih 162 center di Amerika sendiri. Kemudian yang ketiga adalah KAPLAN sudah tersebar ya istilahnya di mana telah membantu lebih dari 3 juta siswa untuk mempersiapkan student diri menghadapi ujian yang diperlukan dalam mencapai tujuan pendidikan maupun dengan karir mereka. Seperti itu. Oke? Ya. Selanjutnya adalah kenapa sih di KAPLAN? Nah, KAPLAN ini salah satu sekolah persiapan ujian yang mempunyai website sendiri. Seperti kita tahu bahwa di situ adalah terdapat www.captest.com. Dan di website kita ini yang mirip dengan tes resmi secara online dari Amerika. Seperti kita ketahui tes sekarang sudah banyak ya yang menggunakan tes online. Karena student perlu latihan-latihan lebih, tidak hanya mengikuti preparation secara langsung dengan teacher-teacher kita, tapi student juga perlu latihan-latihan di rumah mengenai skill strateginya, kemudian time management-nya. Nah, itu yang perlu dipersiapkan agar kalian mendapatkan skor yang cukup bagus seperti itu. Jadi, di mana kalau kalian pilih lembaga, ya pilih lembaga yang sudah punya latihan mirip dengan aslinya. Ya pilih KAPLAN. Oke. Nah, untuk yang kedua adalah kita sudah provide mengenai material sendiri. Tentunya sudah melalui research and development, di mana ahli-ahli bahasa dapat memberikan material yang update dan menyesuaikan dengan perkembangan zaman seperti itu. Nah, untuk yang ketiga, KAPLAN sendiri memiliki highly qualified teacher Jadi sudah banyak ya, lebih dari 3 juta student yang dibantu oleh teacher yang berpengalaman ini untuk mempersiapkan menghadapi ujian guna mencapai tujuan pendidikan maupun di karir mereka. Oke, next. Nah, oke, di sini KAPLAN Edupac program kita mempunyai program-program preparation yaitu TOEFL IBT, GMAT, kemudian untuk GRE, IELTS, SAT maupun TOEFL ITP. Dan kita juga punya persiapan mengenai program kalian yang butuh untuk bahasa Inggris, jadi General English, kemudian ada Academic Writing, mungkin yang mereka profesional bisa pilih untuk Business English, kemudian untuk persiapan mengenai English for Academic Purpose, serta Conversation Skill, dan program-program lainnya. Nah, kita juga punya logo bahwa Higher Score Guarantee, jadi peningkatan skor yang maksimal dari KAPLAN Edupac ini. Oke, next, Richard. Nah, berikut adalah placement test result. Jadi, pada saat kalian nanti mengambil preparation, tentunya kita akan memberikan placement test result. Jadi, progress test di mana di hari pertama kalian akan melakukan seperti international testnya. Dan kemudian akan ada progress kedua, ketiga, seterusnya sampai selesai preparation. Dan di mana di sini ada salah satu contoh yaitu mengenai program GRE test score report, and then ada IELTS test score report, kemudian TOEFL, dan tentunya juga ada GMAT dan lain-lainnya. Oke, next. Nah, ini adalah beberapa testimoni dari student-student kita. Jadi mereka yang sudah mengambil preparation di kita, jadi mereka sudah mencapai skor yang maksimal. Nah, perlu digarisbawahi bahwa mereka tidak hanya yang nilai-nilainya boleh dikatakan ya terbatas ya istilahnya, ya mungkin mereka waduh 5, 6, tapi ini kita ada student istilahnya mereka yang nilai 7 pun mereka masih perlu untuk apa? Meningkatkan skor. Jadi mereka perlu preparation. Nah, mereka untuk kejar higher score. Jadi kecapai, ini adalah salah satu student bahwa dia dari awal dia 7, kemudian setelah mengikuti preparation dan mereka mengikuti ujian, dia dapat skor 8,5. Demikian pula dengan ada satu student lagi di sini seperti kita lihat ya. Oke, next. Ini mengenai student TOEFL. Jadi di awal dia skor 90, kemudian dia mengikuti preparation dan tercapai skor di 109. Ini ada yang 89, mereka meningkat jadi 116. Oke, next. Nah, itu adalah gambaran dari istilahnya student-student kita yang telah mencapai yang skor yang maksimal seperti itu. Nah, ini beberapa klien-klien kita, tidak hanya secara kita perorangan ataupun untuk umum. Nah, kita juga pegang untuk klien-klien kita dari PT Pegadaian, kemudian dari Minet, BRI, Jasa Marga, dan beberapa company-company yang lain-lainnya. Mempercayakan KAPLAN Edupac sebagai tempat test preparation untuk karyawan-karyawan mereka. Oke, next. Ya, itu sekilas mengenai KAPLAN Edupac. Jadi tentunya kita juga akan informasikan untuk teman-teman semuanya. Jadi bagi kalian yang ingin mempersiapkan preparation, setelah nanti melalui preparation, pastinya tentunya akan perlu istilahnya konsultasi mengenai studi ke luar negeri ya. Nah, kita punya edu expert, di mana edu expert nanti akan dibantu oleh Richard. Ya, mereka akan memberikan istilahnya konsultasi mengenai studi abroad. Jadi baik itu mengenai konsultasi pemilihan universitinya, mau kemana, kemudian membantu untuk online registration, kemudian pengurusan visa, pengurusan untuk tiket, akomodasi, sampai briefing pada saat mau keberangkatan, beserta pengurusan dokumen-dokumen maupun untuk dokumen pengurusan untuk keluarga dari peserta sendiri. Oke. Next. Oke, nah ini yang tadi saya sampaikan bahwa bagi teman-teman yang ingin ambil preparation di kita, nah kita di promo Ramadan ini kita ada Ramadan Deals, di mana ada persiapan istilahnya nanti ada diskon up to 1,5 juta ya. Jadi itu berlaku untuk TOEFL, IELTS, SAT, GMAT maupun GRE. Nah, bagi kalian yang ingin mengikuti preparation, kalian bisa scan barcode ya di sebelah kiri bawah. untuk klaim promonya. Silakan, mungkin kalau ada yang ingin scan barcode, silakan di scan dulu.
Ya, mungkin Pak Ian, kita kasih waktu jeda 10 detik kali Pak ya, untuk mereka scan barcode dulu.
Oke.
Atau bisa di screenshot layarnya, nanti kan bisa di scan barcode. Oke Pak, kurasa cukup Pak, silakan.
Oke, sudah semuanya? Sudah scan barcode-nya? Oke, saya rasa sudah ya. Oke, nah untuk selanjutnya nanti kita akan berikan kuis. Jadi kami berikan 3 pertanyaan. Jadi dengan apa yang sudah kami paparkan, kalian nanti bisa chat, istilahnya di chat kita. Jadi nanti 1 pertanyaan, siapa dulu yang menjawab, nanti silakan kemudian aktifkan untuk mic-nya, silakan menjawab. Nanti dari Domi akan mencatat siapa yang akan mendapatkan voucher, yaitu sebesar 1 juta. Oke, nah untuk pertanyaan pertama adalah kira-kira ada yang bisa menjawab nggak? Sebutkan ya minimal 4 program persiapan tes prep di KAPLAN Edupac. Silakan. Bisa chat di situ. Nanti akan kami panggil.
Untuk chat yang paling cepat itu dipanggil namanya.
Ya, chat yang lebih dulu. Oke, sebentar ya.
Yeah.
Beresman Utasoid. Sorry. Sebentar. Maaf. Oke, Meta Dewi. Silakan diaktifkan mic-nya.
Halo.
Ya, halo. Selamat sore.
Iya, selamat sore.
Ya, apa kabar, Kak Meta?
Sehat. Terima kasih, Pak.
Bisa sebutkan nggak? Kira-kira minimal 4 deh, istilahnya program di KAPLAN ini apa aja sih?
Ada persiapan untuk preparation testnya IELTS.
Oke.
Terus juga ada preparation test untuk TOEFL, SAT, GMAT, sama GRE juga.
Oke. Jadi ada 5 ya, IELTS, TOEFL, SAT, GMAT, dan GRE. Oke, bisa nanti di-chatkan untuk nomor handphone yang bisa dihubungin.
Boleh?
Oke, nanti biar dicatat oleh kami. Jadi silakan diketik.
Ya, mungkin kepada admin kita, Ibu Erni, bisa chat kepada Ibu, siapa tadi? Ibu Dewi ya?
Meta.
Oh, Meta.
Iya.
Oke, Erni, silakan chat ke Meta ya.
Oke, thank you. Good luck ya, Kak.
Iya.
Oke, pertanyaan kedua. Siapa bisa menyebutkan apa sih, kenapa sih di KAPLAN atau keunggulan KAPLAN? Silakan.
Saya Kak, dari Papua.
Sebentar ya. Johannes Wato ya?
Ya, benar Kak.
Oke, silakan.
Di KAPLAN itu satu-satunya tempat khusus persiapan TOEFL, IBT, SAT, GRE, GMAT yang ada di Indonesia. Yang kedua, memiliki original material. Semua materi khusus yang dipilih itu sengaja dipilih secara cermat biar sesuai dengan kebutuhan peserta khusus yang mau bersekolah atau karir mereka, meningkatkan karir mereka. Yang ketiga, guru-gurunya berkualifikasi tinggi. Di KAPLAN itu ada guru-guru yang memiliki kemampuan bilingual, yang punya pengalaman mengajar, yang bisa dipastikan semua siswa yang dibimbing bisa meningkat nilai mereka.
Gimana Pak ya? Cukup tepat jawabannya?
Oke, untuk Kak Yohanes, jadi tolong KRD bisa ditulis untuk nomor handphonenya. Untuk Kak tadi Yohanes bisa kirim nomor HP di chat kita, jadi supaya bisa dicatat. Yohanes,
ya, terima kasih Pak.
Oke, thank you, selamat. Oke, pertanyaan ketiga dan terakhir, sudah berapa lama KAPLAN ada di dunia ini? Ya, silakan. Siapa ini? Nah.
Di mana, Pak?
Ya, Adenina. Ada Kak Adenina? Nggak ada. Oke, Beresman, Pi Hutasoid.
80 tahun, Kak.
Oke, berapa Kak?
80 tahun.
Ya, sudah lebih dari 80 tahun. Oke, baik, sudah benar. Oke, bisa kirimkan nomor mobilenya ya di chat kami ya. Oke, selamat ya untuk ketiga pemenang untuk kuis kali ini. Jadi jangan lupa istilahnya persiapkanlah sedini mungkin untuk mendapatkan hasil yang maksimal supaya dapat bisa diterima dari sekolah-sekolah di luar negeri maupun di dalam negeri. Oke, mungkin cukup sekian Kak Richard. Kita kembalikan lagi kesempatan berikutnya untuk sesi berikutnya kepada Pak Erik nantinya. Oke,
terima kasih.
Ya, thank you.
Terima kasih Pak Ian. Sekali lagi kongres kepada seluruh peserta yang juga pemenang khususnya hari ini. Lalu kita masuk ke topik acara hari ini. Without further ado, we give to Mr. Eric. You can speak now and share screen. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. It's nice to be with everybody this afternoon. I'll try to go through the material today as quick as possible. I know that some of you have schedules to keep later this afternoon. And so we'll go through this and cover the basic points of how to think about and how to begin the process of creating your personal statement, which is something that is requested by many universities, or a form of the personal statement is requested. So let me go to the slides. And we'll use these to guide us through the topic this afternoon. I'm going to be teaching in English this afternoon, so hopefully that doesn't create any misunderstandings. I'll try not to speak too quickly as I'm going through the slides so that everybody understands. There will be a few minutes at the end of the presentation for questions if you have any. All right, let's take a look then at how to create the personal statement for graduate school. There is a difference between creating this personal statement for graduate studies compared to creating essays for undergraduate studies. So if you have applied to overseas universities in the past for undergraduate programs, what you are going to create for a graduate program is different. And that's why this is sometimes so challenging for most students. One of the mistakes that many students make is they create what's called a statement of purpose, and they're unable to distinguish between the statement of purpose and the personal statement. So the first thing that we want to do today is describe the difference between these two things, because graduate schools will request sometimes one, the statement of purpose, or the other, personal statement. So the difference is, if we take away the words statements and just look at the key word in each of the titles, what we have is purpose and personal. And so this is the beginning of understanding the difference between these two documents. The statement of purpose emphasizes what you do, and what you want to do. The personal statement emphasizes who you are and how you make decisions, what motivates you. It's more about you instead of your activities. And so this is the difference between the two. What we're going to be focusing on today is the personal statement, not the statement of purpose. If one of your universities that you are applying to requests the statement of purpose, you know then that you're going to have to think about that document a little bit differently. All right, let me adjust my Zoom here. There we go. All right, so to define then what a personal statement is, it helps make the connection between items on your resume, that's what you have done in the past, and you, who you are. So the reader of your application will see your resume, and they'll be able to see what you have done in the past. But that doesn't tell them a very important thing, and that is, who is the decision maker behind all of these things that he or she sees on the resume? All right, the personal statement fills in the missing information then that helps the reader understand what motivates you and why you have made the decisions that have brought you to where you are today. And we call this your background or your history. There are three things that your personal statement should reveal to the reader. One, that you are motivated. Another is that you are disciplined. And the third thing is that you are committed, among other things. These are three very important items. So when you think about what to include in your personal statement, you should think about discussing or talking about experiences in the past that you have had that reveal that you are these things, because graduate programs are looking for students that are motivated, disciplined, and committed. They need those things. So the more you can say about experiences that you have had that reveal these things, the better in your statement. Your personal statement will convince the reader that this is who you are, these things. All right, not only these three, though, there are other things that are important for the reader. One is that you are adaptable and flexible. Of course, if you're going to be studying overseas, you're going to be experiencing a new culture, using a second language 24 hours a day, new food, new friends. So being adaptable and flexible is a very important characteristic that the reader would like to know about if you've had experiences like this in the past. The reader wants to know if you're tolerant. If you study in the United States, for example, the population of the country is very diverse, as you know, and there are lots of different types of people with different ethnic backgrounds and different cultures. And so as you can see from watching the news, tolerance is something that is desperately needed in the United States. And this is something that Americans need to think about quite often. Also, are you adventurous? So if you've had experiences that have taken you to faraway places in the past, you can mention this as a factor in your decision to study overseas. Also, are you comfortable with uncertainty? Going to graduate school, it's not always guaranteed. Success is not always guaranteed. And so you have to be comfortable with the unknown in your classes, with your professors, with the outcome of your studies. And so these things are also important to include in your personal statement if you have experiences with them. All right, the way that we organize the personal statement is chronological. So what we're doing is we're telling a story. We're telling your story. So of course it starts with the past, and then we move into the present, and then we discuss the future. All right, so let's break these down and take a look at each one of these. What we're going to do then is we're going to take the past and move it to the middle, and we're going to write the personal statement by focusing first on the present. That's important to do because in order to write the correct things about your past, you have to know where you're going. In other words, the university that you want to apply to and the program that you're applying to, you have to know that first in order to write the correct background to connect to that university or that program. All right, so we call that the decision to attend. I call that the decision to attend. And then the past is your background in history, and of course the future is your short-term and long-term goals. All right, so these are the sections of the personal statement, and this is the order that we are going to write. But of course, in the end, we're going to make a change back so that your personal statement reflects past, present, and future. So let's look a little bit more closely then at the decision to attend. Now today, because we're just doing a very short mini workshop on this, we won't be able to do very much with this. And that's because this has to do with the university that you are considering attending. So when you write this middle section of your personal statement, you are telling the university why you want to go to that university. The first thing that you need to do is declare your field of study. This is important because your application may not go directly to the department that you want to study in. In fact, most likely it will be previewed by the graduate school itself, which is the office that supervises and controls all graduate departments. So in order to be considerate to the reader at the graduate school office, you want to tell them what department you're interested in, what field of study. All right, the next thing is explain why you have chosen the university you're writing to. This is important because the university wants to know what interests you about that university. What is it? And they want to make sure that the students that they choose to participate in their program are participating for the right reasons. And to do this, it is wise to include some of these things. First, refer to the courses that will help you the most. You must go to the website of the university and to the program that you would like to attend, and you need to look at their curriculum. There are going to be courses that are going to be especially appealing to you, and in your personal statement you want to mention what these courses are. This signals to the university that you are looking closely at the program, and they need to see that you are looking at them closely. So mentioning courses is one way to do that. Also, you can mention the professor or professors teaching your specialization. If somebody is doing research in an area that just matches up very well with your interests for returning to graduate school, you can mention these faculty members, the professors. Discuss any other features or facilities that are appealing to you. So for example, many schools now are building graduate study lounges only for graduate students. And from your undergraduate experience, or if you're an undergraduate now, you know that when it's time to take tests, like the end of the quarter or the end of the semester, finding a quiet study area can be very difficult. So this is an example of a facility that a graduate program would provide that not every university provides, that you like and is appealing to you. You can mention these things in your personal statement. All right, so if you have not researched the top universities in the U.S. in your field of study, you want to do that first because you need to know who the best are or which universities are the best, even though you may not select one of those universities. You need a standard that you can compare to. So it's nice to know who is competitive and who's on top in your field of study. Then choose one. It can be a top university, but it doesn't have to be. Choose a university that looks appealing to you, and be prepared to write in this part of your personal statement why that university is appealing. Is it the professors, the classes, the facilities, the location even? West Coast, if we're thinking about the United States, West Coast, East Coast, large city, small town. Are there outreach programs related to your field of study? Are there research opportunities? What is it that you like about that university? All right. Today, because we have limited time, and it does take time to look at these universities and decide which one you would like to apply to. This writing about the decision to attend is something that you're going to have to make time for and do on your own. What we can do, though, and spend a little bit more time, is on developing your background and history. So now you have chosen a university. Let's imagine that it's University of Oregon, for example, and there's a particular school, department and program there that you're interested in. Now you need to develop your story in your personal statement that helps connect your past to the University of Oregon, for example, or any university that you are applying to. So if we look closely at this, eventually, when we're ready to put our final draft together, we're going to use chronological order to list these things in your background. First, the people, the events or activities, the organizations and other experiences that influenced who you are today and your decision to attend. All right, so for example, if you plan to study geology at the University of Oregon, in the 1 or 2 paragraphs that you write that lead up to the middle of your personal statement, what you want to do is tell the story about how you came to this moment of deciding to want to attend the University of Oregon and study geology. The reader wants to make that connection to your past. Just one comment, if you are a career changer, and many people who go to graduate school are doing this to change their career direction. In this part of your personal statement, you want to just quickly describe the circumstances that shaped your thinking about the future. I had one student who graduated with a bachelor's degree in forestry, S1 degree in forestry. And then while he was looking for a job, he found a job with a bank. And then when he got into banking, he liked it so much that he decided that that's what he wanted to do for his career. And so this is an example of a person who is a career changer. Their undergraduate degree doesn't match their graduate interest. And in your background or history, this is where you tell what happened in order to help the reader to understand why you made that change. In your background and history, describe any challenges that you have faced so far and how these challenges have impacted who and where you are today. All right, so this is where we start to think about motivated, disciplined, committed. This is one way that we can share an experience that shows that these are the things that define us. This is what we are. So it's one way, one technique to include information about important things about you, how you face challenges, how you find solutions. So if you have something like that in your past, you can include it here. Refer to any leadership positions, volunteer work, or organization involvement listed on your resume. Now, the key here is refer to them, but you don't have to repeat them. Very important. Your personal statement explains what the reader sees on your resume, but you don't have to repeat the information on the resume. So you explain how these experiences, work experience or other things on your resume, have motivated you to continue your education. And the thing that we want to focus on here is what motivates you. This is one of the most important parts of the personal statement, sharing with the reader what motivates you. All right, the purpose of the first part of your statement, which is your background and history, is to make a connection between your past experience and your realization of the need for more education that resulted. This is your story. All right, today, because we are short on time, what I'm going to share with you now is how to create the outline that you will then use to create your rough draft of your personal statement. So I'm just going to share the outline with you today, make some notes, and then this will be your starting point. So some weekend evening when you don't have anything better to do because of the pandemic, you can't go out and visit with your friends easily, you're getting bored watching TV, this is a great time to put your outline together. All right, and here's what you need to include. So write down your field of study. Of course, you should know that. Then make notes about the first person or experience that comes to mind that influenced your decision to study, and then insert name of field, like geology. So you want to think about the who, the what, the when, the where, and don't limit yourself to time. Don't think about the beginning and then the end. Just think about the most important thing that happened that made you decide graduate school, geology, this is what I have to do. What is that? What is that thing? Who is that person? All right, then when you have written that down, continue the process until you have thought about all of the important things that shaped your decision to attend. So make notes about another person or experience that comes to mind that influenced your decision to study geology, just for example, at the University of Oregon. And just continue that process until you have the major things that impacted your decision to go to graduate school. This could be your current company, in fact. That's all right to talk about that. All right, continue until you have listed all people and experiences that had an impact on your decision to study, your field of study. And then, once you have all of those things down on paper, then put them in chronological order, because that will be the first step in writing your background and history section. So chronological order, and then you'll have all of the ideas that you need to create this first part of your personal statement. In the near future, transform your notes into a paragraph or paragraphs, if you need more than one, to talk about this part of your statement. Some useful phrases that will help you to get started then are these. I realized, and then in parentheses, I'm going to give you an expression that might follow this. I realized that I had a need. I learned that I lacked something. Through this experience, I understood that further education was necessary. I was inspired to dream about larger possibilities. I was influenced by my teacher, my professor, my supervisor. I was motivated to contribute to the solution by attending a seminar, a workshop, or instead of saying I, you can say, this experience inspired me to dream about larger possibilities. This experience influenced my thinking, my understanding. This experience motivated me to contribute to the solution by attending a seminar. All right, so just a little bit of a difference there in how we structure what we are talking about. Notice this language is helping the reader to understand how we were influenced. Not what we did primarily, that's part of the description, but the impact of the experience on us. That's what's important about the personal statement. Okay, let's move on then to talk about the short-term and long-term outlook, which is the end, the final part of your personal statement. So in this final paragraph, it's usually one, not more than 2 paragraphs. You want to you explain, what do you want to become immediately after graduation? And how will your graduate degree help you to become that? It's very important here that you be specific. You should have a pretty solid plan for what you want to do immediately after graduation. And those who are going to get accepted into graduate school have a clear plan. Those who may not get accepted into graduate school don't describe their plans very well here. The university will want to know if you are already thinking 2 years, 1 or 2 years ahead, and if you already have an idea about how you are going to use the knowledge and skills you gain from their program to create new opportunities for yourself. Important. And then to finish up this part of the personal statement, you want to describe how you see yourself 5 to 10 years from now. Now, I understand that nobody can really predict the future a long time from now. We can have a good idea about what's going to happen in the next 1 or 2 years. But 5 to 10 years from now, nobody's really sure. The university understands this also, and so they're not looking for specific plans here. They just want to know if you can foresee how this graduate degree is going to impact your career path and what's possible in the long term. So, for example, you could think that maybe if you do things correctly, someday you could be in a government position and create policy. Or maybe you want to be in the administrative level of a company or some type of career goal that is more long-term. So if you've thought about this, this is a good place to indicate this. If you haven't thought about it, you should. And just generally describe where this career path that you're thinking about is going to take you. All right, so the outline then, assignment number 2. We won't do this afternoon, but again, on that lonely Saturday night, this is how you want to put this together. So make notes about your immediate plans after graduation, even if they are only dreams right now. That's okay. It's an expectation. What you're doing is you're communicating, I have an expectation. This is what I want to accomplish with my degree after I graduate. Try to project yourself into the distant future. If everything works out well, what do you want to become or do? Write this down. And probably The most important part of the final part of your personal statement is this, the connection to the graduate degree. Explain how your graduate degree will help you to accomplish these things. What opportunities do you expect to discover that you don't have right now? Make the connection between the graduate degree and these expectations for the future. And it could be as simple as this. You just say, without a graduate degree from the University of Oregon, I will be unable to do these things in order to advance in my career. I need this degree. So this is kind of like a love letter to the university. You're finishing up the letter by saying, I need you. I need this university to help me. That's the feeling that the reader wants to get. And if the reader has that feeling, when he or she gets to the end of your personal statement, you're much more likely to get accepted into the program. All right, useful phrases then for the end of your personal statement. I will return to the company I work for. Many people do that. I plan to return to Indonesia and continue my work in geology. I wish to pursue a senior position. I desire to expand my responsibilities to include this and that. I would like to work for a multinational company. When you write about long-term goals, you can say things like, ultimately, I would like to. At some point in my career, I plan to do this. This is long-term. After gaining more experience, I aspire to do something. All right, long-term. All right, so one more year. Fulfilling my short-term goals will allow me to do something in the long term, in the future. Okay, so here's what we have then. When we're finished creating our outlines, we've got the decision to attend after we've done some homework about universities and we've decided on one university and we know why we want to go there and we're ready to explain this. We write the decision to attend. Then we look at our outline for our background in history and we write that. And then we create a rough draft of our short-term and long-term outlook. And once that's complete, then we copy and paste and we put our background in history first with the decision to attend in the middle, and then our outlook finishes up. So this is the order then of the personal statement. And as you can see, we're back to past, present, and future. Chronological order. It's your story. This is what we're creating. All right, let me finish. I've abbreviated my presentation for today by moving quickly through these things, especially the outlines. So I'm going to leave those up to you to complete on your own. Let's talk a little bit about don'ts and do's. We'll start with the don'ts first, and then we'll go to the do's. So don't tell long stories to make a simple point. This is, it's common here in Indonesia to develop the background of something and then make a point based on the background. It's just, it's a popular way of writing here, but in the West, there is a different value when people read something. If you're planning on applying to schools in the US anyway, I think also for England, the reader wants to get to the point real quick. They want to know what the point is. Never mind the background. So make points quickly. So the do here is Just state the facts. Be brief and concise. There's not a lot of room in the personal statement anyway. Don't repeat what is already clearly stated on your resume. The reader will have a copy of your resume there together with your personal statement. So they'll look at your resume. If they need to find information about your experiences, they will look at your resume. You don't have to repeat that. Do refer to items on your resume, for example, while working at ABC company, but then focus on what is not said on the resume. Focus on the additional information that will help the reader understand who you are, how you make decisions, what motivates you. Don't generalize when describing yourself, such as, I'm a hard worker, I'm a team player, because everybody else is saying the same thing. You're all hard workers. You're all team players. If you sound like everybody else, the chances of getting accepted into the school are reduced. What you want to do is describe yourself uniquely, provide specific examples of when you demonstrated outstanding personal qualities. You want to communicate, I am unique, and here's why. I have unique experiences. And so focus on your specific experiences that show that you are a hard worker or a team player or any other good quality, adventurous, comfortable with uncertainty, all of those things that we looked at just a few minutes ago. Final thoughts then. We're at 4 o'clock. I know that many of you need to keep schedules, so let me close with this. Create a personal statement template. Yeah, what's going to result is you're going to create a template that you can extract information from to create unique statements for each university. You're going to find that universities, they try to create a situation where you cannot just send a standard personal statement. They're going to ask you particular questions that you need to respond to. And so every time that you send a personal statement to a university, you are going to need to revise and change it a little bit. So if you go through this process, you're going to have a master personal statement, and you use that then to create your revisions for each university. Be aware of the specific questions that each university may ask about you and answer those questions in your statement. If you don't do that, the reader is going to see that you did not respond to the question they asked in the writing part of your application, and you probably just duplicated your personal statement and changed a few things like the name of the university. So be careful about these specific questions that you're going to see in the instructions for your application. Be prepared to spend a considerable amount of time researching each university you apply to and tailor or customize your statement for each campus. It does take homework. You really do have to become familiar with each university and reflect that in your decision to attend section of your personal statement. All right, once that's all done, put all this together, your background, decision to attend, and goals. Your personal statement template should be approximately 1,000 words. Normally, universities require personal statements that have fewer words, maybe 700 to 800. A nice size for a master template is about 1,000 words. All right. Assuming this is a workshop and we've done the writing, later I'll read your statement again. Does it tell me who you really are? If it doesn't, make changes until it does. That's what I need to know. Who are you? That's the question that your personal statement answers. Okay. We've got just a moment for any questions. let me go to the chat room. We'll just take 2 or 3 minutes. And if you have a particular question, I'll wait just a moment and try to answer that before I end.
Halo untuk semua para peserta, apabila ada pertanyaan, mungkin boleh di kolom chat. Silakan.
I hear somebody tearing their outline into pieces. Maybe
I already unmuted him. Thank
Okay.
you. Okay, I see Ayurida chat. Oke, Ayurida, boleh saya sebagai penengah nanti apa yang pengen kamu tanyakan, boleh Ayurida? Oh, Mr.
Okay, the question is related to the experience that we should write in our personal statement. Should we include all the experience that we have or just choose the best of it? Okay, so the easy answer to this question is the best of your experience. Yeah, because usually we have many different types of experiences that relate to our need to return to school. And so you want to take the top 2 or 3 or 4 experiences that you have been through that have influenced your decision to attend graduate school and discuss those and include detail. It's better to have fewer experiences with more detail than to have many experiences discussed in your background and history. So I would choose the best of the experiences. That's a good question. So yeah, choose the best. Okay, anything else? Okay, feel free to contact Ian or Richard if you have any further questions, and they'll be in touch with me. Thank you very much for giving me about 30 minutes of your time this afternoon, and I'll turn this back over to Richard to finish up.
Yes, Mr. Eric, I would like to personally thank you for your presentation today. Oke, untuk para peserta, personal statement ini bakal bisa didapatkan salah satu di kurikulum untuk di program KAPLAN Edupac. Personal statement ini sangat penting, khususnya saya sebagai admission yang biasa memberangkatin student, baik itu S1 atau S2 ke luar negeri. Selain kalian udah punya rapor atau udah punya ijazah, pastinya perlu juga namanya English Certificate. English Certificate sendiri itu boleh IELTS atau TOEFL, dan personal statement ini juga diperlukan, karena kalau personal statementnya tidak cukup baik, ada peluang persentase penerimanya bakal menurun, seperti itu. Nah, untuk Pak Ian, sebelum kita closing acara hari ini, mungkin ada sedikit tambahan dari Pak Ian. Saya persilakan, thank you.
Oke, selamat sore semuanya. Sebelum berakhir, ya, jadi kalau misalnya nanti ada teman-teman di sini yang ingin menanyakan mengenai program preparation, silakan bisa chat saya ataupun di slide chat nomor KAPLAN, jadi menanyakan mengenai preparation yang dibutuhkan. Nah, di situ ada di chat juga sudah saya berikan kontak ya. Nah, di situ ada kontaknya. Nah, itu bisa di nomor 0822 1188 1108 atau di 0822 1050661. Silakan aja. Jadi jangan sungkan-sungkan. Kalau untuk persiapan tes prep, kita berikan free consultation mengenai program yang dibutuhkan. Persiapkan sejauh mungkin ya, secara istilahnya well prepare lah istilahnya. Jadi supaya tidak terlalu mepet waktu, karena untuk preparation itu butuh waktu. Jadi paling tidak, kalaupun nanti misalnya ada yang nilai yang kurang memuaskan, jadi bukan jelek ya, jadi nilai kurang memuaskan, misalnya skornya udah 7 IELTS-nya, tapi ada satu mungkin mungkin reading atau writing-nya baru dapat 5,5 atau 6 atau 6,5, tidak jelek, cuman kurang maksimal, apalagi menyangkut misalnya mau mengejar untuk scholarship misalnya, seperti itu. Demikian pula TOEFL, misalnya TOEFL-nya udah 90, tidak jelek istilahnya. Nah, tapi kalau untuk kejar scholarship ya TOEFL ICT-nya kalau bisa ya 100 ke atas di situ. Jadi silakan aja, bisa nanti kontak saya di nomor yang tertera di situ. Kami akan membantu semaksimal mungkin untuk teman-teman di sini agar semua bisa kekejar apa yang skor yang diinginkan. Gitu ya. Kurang lebih seperti itu, Kak Richard.
Oke. Nah, mungkin saya memberi waktu beberapa detik supaya mereka atau para peserta ini bisa mencatat nomor kita ya Pak ya?
Ya.
Kita bisa men-scan langsung karena itu bakal direct ke WhatsApp kita. Jadi untuk kalian yang pengen bertanya tentang persiapan, baik itu kursus TOEFL, IELTS, ataupun untuk S2, kita punya GRI, dan GMAT program. Itu bisa langsung menghubungin nomor tertera yaitu Pak Ian di 0822 1188 1108. Lalu apabila ada pertanyaan mengenai info-info untuk pembekalan ke luar negeri, dokumen yang perlu disiapkan, universitas yang lagi saat ini, itu boleh ke saya. Di situ juga tertera informasi untuk kontak personil. Oke Pak Ian?
Ya, oke.
Oke, sebelum saya closing, mungkin saya coba mengecek beberapa chat dulu ya.
Barangkali ada yang mau scan barcode yang tadi untuk Ramadan deals.
Oh iya, sebentar ya, saya coba back ke slide yang promo tadi Pak ya. Karena khusus juga mungkin informasi yang harus kita sampaikan hari ini khusus untuk para peserta yang ikut acara di sore ini, kita kasih promo khusus ya Pak ya, gitu maksudnya kali ya.
Ya.
Oke, saya coba kembali ke yang ini Pak ya.
Ya.
Berarti mereka untuk para peserta, kalau mereka scan barcode di layar ini, nanti diarahkan untuk bisa klaim promonya supaya dapat diskon. Baik itu masuk ke program TOEFL, IELTS, SAT, juga GMAT, GRI untuk S2. Gitu Pak ya?
Ya. Ya.
Oke Pak Ian. Oke Pak, kurasa mereka udah mencatat atau men-screenshot. Mudah-mudahan lancar. Lalu saya ucapkan selamat sore, selamat beribadah puasa untuk menjalankan ibadahnya. Terus juga sebelum mengundurkan diri, mungkin di sini kalau misalkan kita ada kesalahan atau gimana dimaafkan. Terus juga semoga kita bisa bertemu lagi di event selanjutnya. Untuk Pak Ian, mungkin kalau misalkan ada ending, silakan Pak.
Ya, oke, silakan. Cukup mungkin dari saya.
Oke Pak, kalau gitu. Nah, kita pamit ya semua. Bye all. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Pak.
Thank you so much.
Thank you semuanya.
Thank you.
Terima kasih.
Ya.
Thank you.
Oke, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you and have a nice day.
Oke.